Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Stoneblock. In this episode we're going to be talking about chickens and how different chicken mods work in this mod pack. So you might be wondering, why am I so focused on chickens? The reason I'm focused on chickens is if you look over here, these chickens give you resources. So you don't have to set up other kinds of farms to get these other items. You don't need to worry about sieving anymore. I've got iron chickens, I've got redstone chickens, but it does take quite a while to get to this point. So I'm going to give you kind of the rundown of the starting mechanics, things to get started, because I mean, we start off in a cave with nothing around us. How do you even get chickens? And then we're going to go from there. So first thing you're going to want is a field of wheat. Chickens in this mod pack, just like actual chickens in regular Minecraft, need seeds to be bred. So we need to have some way of getting a whole bunch of seeds. I'm using these farmers, but first off, how do you even get seeds to begin with? So to get seeds, you can go a couple of different ways. You can do the market from farming for blockheads and pay an emerald for a seed. You can also do the market from Pam's Harvest Craft, which I end up buying anyways. Or the cheapest thing to do is just get a string mesh and some dirt and sieve it for some seeds. Dirt you just get from taking your hammer and crushing down gravel. String mesh, we covered that in the last episode. So I believe I mentioned in the last episode that you do not want to get rid of your old meshes, and this is why, because you never know when you might need it. The string mesh is the only way to get regular wheat seeds. So go ahead and get that started first. Hold on, let me toss this stuff in. Once you get seeds going, I like using these farmers from Actually Additions. I mentioned last episode how I've been using some Actually Addition stuff. So you could manually farm it. I personally think that Actually Additions farmer is just a really simple and straightforward thing to use. You do need some Inori crystal blocks and some iron casings. Iron casing comes from just plain iron, sticks, black quartz. You get black quartz from smelting up crushed black quartz, which you get from sieving up dust. Now the Inori crystal you can get by taking iron and tossing it in front of your atomic reconstructor. So let me get some iron. You could either do plain iron ingots and turn it into Inori crystals, or you could just use a whole iron block and turn it into an Inori crystal block. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You just toss it down. This is my atomic reconstructor. It is set to pulse mode. You can change that mode by right-clicking with a redstone torch. I'm providing power from this coal generator. I just have to flick it on, and I get my Inori crystal blocks, which I can then use to craft up the farmer. The farmer does require a power source of some sort, so I have here two farmers to do two different layers. The reason I have two layers is because I've got these growth crystals that I got out of loot boxes. So by stacking up my two fields, I just really increase the rates. And then I've got these two coal generators. I'm sure there's a way to make it, like I could probably move this layer down one and then run both farmers off of one coal generator. I'm just not worried about it yet. You know, this is beginning game stuff. Everything's ugly. Not stressing. Once you have your seed production well underway, we're going to get started with the other stuff. This does need to be the very first thing you do, because it does take quite a lot of seeds, and it also is going to take quite a lot of wheat to build up the stuff that we need. The next thing that we need to get is some chickens. And to do that, I'm using the Pam's Harvest Craft market. So The recipe is relatively straightforward. Some wood planks, some wool, and an emerald. Wool you can get just by combining 4 string. Covered how to get string in the last episode. Emerald you get from sieving up gravel in an iron or a diamond mesh. It can be pretty rare to begin with, but we only need 2 emeralds. 1 emerald to build the thing, and then if we move through here, we can actually buy spawn eggs. Oh, I guess I needed 4 emeralds. So 3 emeralds to get the spawn chicken egg. Once I get a chicken spawn egg, you're then going to want to have, a hopper set up of a chest and a place to kind of hold the chicken. That's actually what this chest was here for. So, dogs are running around behind me. Sorry if it gets a little loud. There is a hopper. I will get my organization better at some point in the future. So, just to show you my beginning setup. So I had some blocks here. There we go. Okay. And I just spawned the chicken in there. The reason I had the hopper was to catch the eggs. Eggs are going to be very important because that's how we're going to get going. Of course, dogs decide to play now. Sorry if it's a little loud in the background. But anyways, so we need to get some basic eggs, which I've got over here, and there we go. So once you've got some basic eggs, we can see the different recipes that the eggs are used for. Naturally, they're used for different kinds of machines and different kinds of food. But if we go all the way to the back, we can actually see that we can use sand and logs to make sand chicken eggs and log chicken eggs. Different colored dyes make different colored eggs. Flint makes flint eggs. Those are really going to be your starting points. Getting some of the dyes can be a little bit obnoxious, especially the black ink. But I'll show you ways to do that. Once you get these eggs, there are really like 2 kinds of eggs here. We have the spawner egg, which is the flint egg, the sand egg, and the log egg. And then you have the colored eggs, which, if you see there, it says throw to have a chance to spawn the chicken. It's kind of like a default Minecraft egg. Now, I don't like wasting materials on just a chance of something happening. So, instead, what you want to make is a nesting, or a nest, an egg nest. The recipe is 3 hay bales, so it is pretty expensive. But remember, we have that farmer set up to automatically give us wheat. When you have the egg nest, all you have to do is plop an egg in there, and if I hover over it, it's got a hatching percentage up at the top that will slowly tick up to 100%, and then it will give us the baby chicken. So you don't have to run that chance anymore. It will always give you the baby chicken. Then you have to wait for the baby chicken to grow up. Once you have a couple of chickens ready to go, the next thing that you're going to want is a nesting pen. The recipe for this is just some wood around that egg nest. So once we have, you'll notice I kept an egg nest and I have my hatching pen, or not my nesting pen. You're going to want to keep an egg nest just in case you need it. Then you have your nesting pen. This is going to take a chicken. Let me get a chicken. So we got a chicken, the pink chicken. We need to get it into that nesting pen. To do this, in one of these chests is my animal net. Animal net is just made with sticks and string. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You right-click on a chicken to pick it up, and then you're going to shift right-click it into the pen, and it will, over time, drop items. If we let me look at here. I don't think it says it. The items that you will get in the nesting pen are going to be chicken manure, which is used from, it's essentially bone meal, but it can also be used to make better or more efficient farmland. So you're going to get that chicken manure, you're going to get eggs, you're going to get the resource that that chicken drops. So this is a pink chicken, it's going to drop pink dye. And then you're also going to get feathers. And we need feathers because we want to make this chicken catcher. So let me... Recipe for a chicken catcher is any kind of egg. Can be a basic egg, can be a special egg, a stick, and a feather. Once you have that, life becomes a lot easier and becomes a lot quieter because you don't need to have chickens running around anymore. You right-click with the chicken catcher and it converts the chicken into an item. This chicken item can then be, is then going to be how we're going to play around with the chickens to begin with. So you'll notice there are actually like a couple different mods that have to do with chickens. There's the roost mod, which is the one that I primarily like to work with because it has those chickens as items. There's also the hatchery mod, which is where we get the nesting pen and the egg nest and all that. So now that we've got our chicken in its item form, get rid of him, we're then going to want to go down the rabbit hole of breeding chickens. So, roost. If we look at this, let's say, you know, a flint chicken is pretty straightforward. You get the flint chicken with flint around an egg. It's really easy to get. It's one of your starting chickens. We then hit U, and we can go over here to breeding. These are all of the different ways that we can breed this chicken to give us other chickens. So we can use flint and log chickens. Log chickens are made with an egg and 8 logs to give us a coal chicken. We can then use a coal chicken to combine with a nether quartz chicken to give us lava. And so we can follow this breeding, like, web of life, tree of life, whatever you want, family tree, to get all these different chickens that you see over here on the right. It's not every resource in the game, but it's a lot of resources in the game. So to do this, we need these chicken breeders. A chicken breeder is made, if we look up here, with more hay. Again, you want to have that farmer set up with those wheat seeds, some wood, and some seeds. I just have a wall of 12 breeders here. You can have as many as you want. I wouldn't recommend going too many because they do eat up a lot of resources. And then you're also going to need the roosts. That's what I have over here. So a roost is just a little house for your chicken. You put the chicken in and it produces its resource. So this is a gold chicken and it's just slowly going to be producing gold nuggets. We have redstone chickens that produce redstone. Iron chickens produce iron, and so on. These are compatible with a lot of different item management mods. So you can have pipes in the back, or item conduits, or whatever specific mod you want to use to get the item out. The other thing you can use is this item called the Roost Collector. I personally don't like the Roost Collector because it does create a big bottleneck. But if I were to put it down right here, it detects all of the roosts in the vicinity. It's got a range of, I think, like 4 blocks or so. And it just pulls resources from those roosts into it. And then you can have a pipe or a conduit pulling stuff out of the roost collector. I'm not a huge fan because it does create that bottleneck. So I would rather spend the extra resources and get all of the items picked up through the back of the individual roosts. But to each their own. You can, with the roost collector, you can kind of stack the roosts a little bit closer together. Last thing to talk about really is breeding. My inventory is such a hot mess right now because I haven't finished this storage drawer situation. That's probably going to be something I'm going to work on stream, I think. But we take the chickens and you give them seeds, and you'll notice that the chickens have these stats, growth, gain, and strength. I'll be honest, I don't know what they mean, but I'm always going to try to get, the max level is 10. So I'm going to be breeding up these chickens to increase those numbers until they're level 10. I think it ends up being that they'll either drop items more frequently or they'll drop more items with every time. So I breed 2 chickens together with 2 seeds to give me a baby chicken. It almost always, the baby chicken is better than the parents. So it's just a very slow progression. So, for instance, this was an 8-10-9, this was a 10-10-9, and the baby was a 10-10-10. So I'm getting rid of the weakest parent, putting in the baby, and it's going to breed up faster. I think that's the growth, is actually when it breeds faster. Once I have 2 chickens that are 10-10-10, I then want to get the maximum number of chickens that are 10-10-10. One roost over here can hold a maximum of 16 chickens. That's like the stack limit for chickens. So if I have 2 parents already, I then need 28 seeds to give me those 14 more babies. So it's a bit of a lengthy process, but it ends up being a lot more time efficient than other methods of getting resources. Like, you could go down the mystical agriculture rabbit hole, and you do end up needing that for certain resources, but for a lot of these resources that I'm getting are not going to be terribly useful to me. But I just like having all the chickens. Like, I made pink chickens. I honestly don't think pink chickens are used for anything. Oh, you can make a magenta chicken. And a magenta chicken doesn't breed anything else. So it's literally a dead end. But I don't know, maybe it's the completionist in me, but I like having all the chickens. So yeah. The other thing to talk about is what to do with all of these chickens that are essentially used up. So these chickens that are no longer like good parent chickens, you can then just toss them into a furnace, cook them down, and they give you cooked chicken. So nice little food source there. I'm going to use my really good furnace here. But that's really all there are some chickens that you can only get in the nether. There is the nether quartz chicken, and there is the soul sand chicken. So you do need to go into the nether to get those. You cannot craft them, and it will be a limitation if you do not have them. Naturally, you can then breed them up in the chicken breeder to get higher tier nether quartz chickens so that they produce more quartz. But yeah, you can go all the way, like some of these produce items from different mods. So demon utility or demon ingot from extra utilities. Lunar reactive dust comes from also extra utilities. Night slime, I think, comes from tinkers. Yeah, tinkers. So pulsating iron is for Ender IO. This is great because Ender IO has some of the best conduits and piping in the game. So getting a lot of those Ender IO materials, super useful. But yeah, I would recommend getting started with chickens early. It is a bit of a grind. It does take time, but that time really pays off in the end, because when you do want to start into other mods like Ender IO, or like where is another one? Electrum. So Electrum is really useful in thermal foundation if you're getting into like if you do end up wanting to do mystical agriculture, I would recommend doing thermal foundation first, because you can then get the phytogenic insulator, which is a machine that grows your seeds. So a lot of things open up to you if you have chickens, and if you have this as your way of getting base resources. And it really saves you a lot of time, because I can't count the number of times where I've like run out of coal in one of my coal furnaces or coal generators and just run over here and grab some. Super easy, super useful. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.